Welcome back to episode 5 of the Long Run Podcast. Today I'm delighted to be joined by Irish athlete Cormac Dalton.
Well, Morgan, how's things?
Crack?
Thanks for having me.
We finally made it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a work in progress.
Exactly. Yeah.
Busy schedule.
Squeezed it in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Between cross training and all.
Yeah. How have you? How's it been recently? How's the cross training going?
Yeah, good man. Yeah, good. Flat out.
Really?
It's even harder than running training, to be honest.
Is it more hours?
Yeah, it's more hours. Yeah,
a lot more hours.
Yeah, goes from 10 or 11 to 15 or so. But big thing as well. Then the gym increases as well. So in total, I'm nearly 18 or 19. Probably, if you consider everywhere you have to drive to and from everything, it's probably 20 hours realistically, a week, if not more, with all driving to the gym, driving to different places, because I'm in Sport Ireland over in Blanche, so just going there most days. But so it's been busy, and then trying to squeeze in work along with that. But
obviously it's the Irish thing to start conversations with how are you, but actually how are you, how is that has it affected you? How are you getting on the last few weeks, mentally?
Do you know what? It's been probably the best injury that I've had mentally, I think. I 2 years ago, full hands up, full honesty, I was miserable. I had an Achilles injury for it ended up going 8 weeks, but one of the worst things about that was that I never knew what was wrong with it. It was kind of I might be back running next week, might be back running the week after that or whatever, and so the hope kills you, whereas this injury was you have stress in your femur. You have to take 4 to 6 weeks, and then we'll return to run. It was just very clear, so I was able to just attack the cross training straight away. No messing about. But no, I think it more kind of talks to how I am, I think, mentally at the minute, in terms of I take running it's my kind of job. I also have a part-time job, but it just felt pretty natural to I can't run this morning, but going to bike, going to cross trainer. It's just kind of snowballed nicely. I think just kept the work going, and I've been quite positive about it.
Yeah. So usually we start from the start, but I feel like we'll just talk about this for a bit because it is the most recent and prevalent thing. And
that's fair,
then hopefully it gets more positive as the conversation goes on. But if you want to just tell the audience, I suppose, whoever most people that listen to this would definitely know who you are, and they're probably following you on Instagram, the likes, and I've seen the stories. But you might not know the background of how it happened, or maybe you don't know how it happened, but maybe when you became to realise, something's not up, let's go get it looked at. Yeah. And then kind of what your plan has been the last few weeks, and how much longer you have of this sort of cross training.
So I was, when was it? Nearly 5.5 weeks ago now, or 6 weeks ago actually. I was diagnosed with a femoral stress response / reaction. So on a scale of 5 in terms of bone injury, 5 is being a fracture. I'm a 2. So
you caught it early.
Yeah, well, you could. It just never got that bad. Is the way I describe it. But it was there since after Valencia, which was the 10th of January, and I've had hundreds of little kind of glute issues where I feel like my glute isn't working, and it causes referral pain down through maybe my hip flexors and groin and things like that. So I never really felt the place that it actually was had a stress response on it. I just thought all the muscles around it were the problem, but it turns out they were just doing too much work. So that's why they were getting tight, because they were trying to protect me. And I basically was able to run and train full volume, 160 kilometers a week for 5 weeks. Raced twice, Armagh 5k and Castellone 10k. I raced actually quite well. So I think the problem was actually somewhere in that week or two around Valencia. That's where the injury occurred, and then I seem to have probably fixed it and trained and recovered and ate quite well for that next period, but the injury was there. It was always there. I was seeing a physio every week with Sport Ireland, and I was certain it was just my glute stuff, and we were treating it like that. But a physio hears you saying after 3 or 4 weeks, it's still annoying me, and to hop is a bit annoying and stuff like that, and that's normally red flag. So once we got to close to that last race, we were we need to get this scanned. I was still just certain that it was nothing. I was just they're just worrying, I'm just training full, because like, how do you recover?
You probably never feel fresh, do you?
Exactly, exactly. And this is like a 2 out of 10 at worst kind of pain. And we never, like, we just think, that's just training. Like, I do, I don't know, like 30k on a Tuesday. You recover by doing 16k on a Wednesday morning, you know, and then you go do another 30k on a Thursday, and it's just kind of like that's all I was telling myself, is like, I'm actually doing well to keep going. And I was pretty happy with how I trained and all that with what was wrong. But the scan came back, and I was even saying all this, it sounds ridiculous, but I was actually still shocked. So I was certain, like, it was nothing. And I also haven't had a history of bone injuries or anything. I did when I was a young lad, like 16. I had like metatarsal stress fractures, a few in 1 year, but like that was pretty obviously like growing. Obviously, like the way I was running, I used to heel strike a bit more and stuff, and I just wasn't strong. Like, I was just a young lad, wasn't strong. So I hadn't had anything like that in over 10 years, so I was a bit shocked. But yeah, in terms of if you were to look at, I suppose, how it happened, it's just, I think it was a culmination of a long season. I think I was training since last August, built up through cross country, raced. Every race in cross country was quite good, but towards the end I started getting a few illnesses. Like after national cross, I got sick once, and then recovered for Eurocross, raced well. We can talk about that later. And after Eurocross, felt like I got sick again, which is kind of that's the yearly thing, the post Eurocross flu, we call it, like, and the night out and stuff probably catches you. And then I recovered from that quick as well, and then trained hard over Christmas with the goal of Valencia, and felt like I was in the best position I was ever in terms of fitness. A few sessions I done and stuff, but just the week of Valencia just kind of started feeling terrible. Like, went from genuinely Saturday before Valencia was probably the best double threshold of my life, and then Tuesday I just, we were trying to do easy threshold with Jack and Nick on the track in Portugal, and like I was just seeing my heart rate going up and up, and saw my lactates were high and stuff, and I was just like, something's all right here. Just survived that, got to Valencia, and when I raced in the race, like, I just knew something like wasn't right. Just felt both my quads actually in the first kilometre of Valencia 10k were really tight, and it just transpired then, like, I obviously wasn't right. I think after the race, like, my body shut down the last 2k, I just kind of died. And after the race, I was in the hotel with like flu symptoms, like, you know, like your arms and legs like start like hurting and like aches and pains. So, and then 2 days after that, pain in my leg. So that's, I suppose, the story of how it happened, and just where I am now.
Talk about the stress response a little bit more. I presume majority of people that listen to this podcast, well, I know that majority of them that listen to this podcast aren't elite runners. A lot of them probably haven't even heard of a stress response, and probably won't or might never encounter.
Well, I hope so.
I hope so too. So if we can just kind of try explain to them, and not to pull too much science out of you, but with basically taking this time off to cross train on the bike, obviously for the audience, that's just like to reduce the load on your legs. Take it a bit easier on your femur. Is the goal then, when you finish all this cross train, you follow the plan with the physio? Do you go get another scan then just to see, or is it just that will always be there, but you've kind of the pain threshold, like your pain has gone down?
It's a good question. Then they actually, even the sports doctors and all, struggle with that themselves. Some of them want to get rescan and some of them don't, because so basically apparently scans, they're almost delayed. So if I'm feeling 100% right now, the scan will still show a stress response. So you're almost in a way going to get scanned and going to be told to take more time off, like guaranteed. Whereas even like the top sport doctors that I work with, like, are like, we'd rather go off your pain and like your symptoms basically, which for me is a little bit difficult because my symptoms were so low in the first place. Like, you know, I was able to train fully on it and able to race with no pain. But so that's kind of a doctor actually said this to me, that's where it becomes like art in terms of your training load, your management, your physio giving you rehab and giving you, you know, this amount to run at the start and then increasing it slowly. But so they do consider rescans, but it normally they just go off like what the normal rehab is, 6 to 8 weeks, and then you just slowly return to run and build up that load. But that's kind of it's going to show up on a scan basically, and it's like I've been described as it's like a scab healing, but the bone is just trying to relayer itself. So you're gonna on a scan you're gonna see that they see that frequency of the healing and inflammation.
Makes sense. I think a lot of people be like listening would be like, pain 2 out of 10. I think it's important to note that athlete to your level know your body so well. And I feel like a lot of runners, say someone just started, they're training for a marathon, they probably think they're in pain 7 out of 10 majority of the days. But I think it's the difference with, the difference between pain and tired legs, or pain, that sort of way. There is a difference there, isn't it? That's what you're trying to get at. Yeah,
absolutely. Like I've lived with, we've trained, I suppose, I've run it since I'm 9, so nearly going on 18 years, you know what I mean, like 18 years, and it's kind of just, it's just something I live with. Like sometimes you feel good, sometimes you don't feel good, and as you say, there's a big difference. Like it's like if I'm going out and starting to run, it's a little bit sore, my general, it's just fatigue and soreness, that's fine, but if it's getting worse through the run, things like that, then that's worse, that's bad, that's pain, that's only getting worse, whereas a lot of time you'll feel better as the run goes on. But so I don't know, I think it's when we have experienced, like at the level we're trying to get to race at that level, the pain is so high as well. So I do feel like that kind of,
your threshold will be a lot different. Like pain threshold
is like a little bit heightened, and like the different layers then of how hard things are, because we're just constantly trying to be in tune with our bodies and know, like, can I go hard today or not hard today, and things like that. But it's a fine balance that we get wrong all the time. Like, it's that's the sport. That's the sport.
That's an art in itself.
You're playing. Exactly. You're on a tightrope, like, and that's just how it has to be. But that's kind of what I mean by pain was 2 out of 10. Like, even I had this injury and I'd go out for a run, maybe the first few steps, and I'd be like, oh, not great, and then it would be fine. Or few of the times first few steps were perfect. And I was like, great. So that's what I mean by 2 out of 10. And a lot of physios go off that as well in terms of rehab. It's like sometimes you get back running from an injury and it will be still there, like 2 out of 10. Once it's improving, that's the main thing.
Right. Well, get off the negative stuff for now. Because there's some great days in there to talk about over the years.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you want to just basically take us back to who introduced you to running, your kind of first memories as like a child getting out running. I've heard you say before, like a lot of your easy running would have been on grass. That's set for your good cross country performances over the years. Just take us back to when you started, your first memories, and then what I suppose even kept you in it at that stage when you kind of went through your teenage years.
So I suppose I go all the way back to when I was 9. I obviously loved all sports, was just constantly running. Like, my mom jokes that, like, I didn't take my first steps, like I just kind of started like I just ran and fell over kind of thing. But that's the joke. But no, so when I was like 9, my mom was a runner herself. She actually went to Arkansas in the 80s for a running scholarship.
How prevalent would that have been back then? I can't imagine too prevalent.
To go over,
athletes kind of going over.
It would have been semi, like it wouldn't have been that far different than right now, because Ireland always had like a good crop of runners. Even you're talking back then. I'm trying to think who
How'd
was
you even
there.
reach out to Arkansas back then? Sending
that. Basically, she won a school's All Ireland cross country by like a country mile. Apparently, like she just went, and it's so funny. She tells me the stories. Like she just trained herself. Like,
oh really?
She was running. She ran to school and back and stuff. And like it sounds like she kind of knew what threshold was before in terms of like she'd go and do hard efforts, but like she knew how to control herself kind of, and that's what the way because she was doing her leaving cert obviously, and was just studying, running home, and just did her own kind of training like on the roads in Mullingar, like where I'm from. And so she won that. I think John McDonnell, he's actually a iconic NCAA distance running coach. Like they ran a dynasty in the 80s, like the Arkansas, they won everything under him. So he actually only passed away a few years ago. So he recruited her after seeing that school's All Ireland win, and she went over. Didn't go that well because back then, things were just. She just said they raced every day in training, like would just go for an easy run, and they'd just be by the end of the easy run, they'd literally be sprinting, be first one to get back kind of thing. Like, so she had a knee injury and all that, and she came home, didn't work out and that, but she kind of could sense the runner in me. I think she just noticed it, and the schools, we didn't really send kids from our primary school to the Westmead schools cross country, which are in Belvedere, which was only about 5 minute drive from where I grew up. And but a few of us wanted to do it, and my mom kind of helped with that, and a few of us went out of school for that day and went to it. And it was always a lap at the inside, and I think it was about 6 or 800 meter loop on the grass, and it's a hilly course, Belvedere. And I went out, I came fourth, just at my first race, and she was like, right, you're good at this, go into Mullingar Harriers. Went in, and the rest was kind of history. I kind of hated it for the first year, actually, just because I was probably coming from football and all that. I was just like, oh, can I just do that? I didn't have that many friends and stuff, and I didn't know anyone in the club, so I was just kind of like, oh, do I have to go to training? And then about fast forward like a year, and in my first cross country race I was like 42nd in the Leinsters as a 9-year-old, and I lost my spike as well. Funny my first ever race, just gone. I ran by my mom, I was like, Mom, I lost my shoe. She was like, it's grand, just keep going. So that was my first experience with cross country. And a year later, there was a nice few of us in Mullingar's of our age, and I started to become friends with them, like guys that I still talk to this day. A few of them aren't that much into running, but like, we just really bonded well, like had so much fun at training. And all of a sudden then the next Leinster's cross country I won that same age, like, so I was 10, a year older.
Cross country at that level was so funny.
Yeah, and it was crazy. We were the Mullingar were 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, really?
And 6.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so we absolutely, so that kind of led to us just dominating. I wouldn't go to an All Ireland cross country and not come back with 3 medals like every single. So you get one for the team, one for your county, and then individual as well. Top 12 or whatever will get one. So like we were just cleaning up. So that made it very fun. Like we were going on bus journeys together, winning these things. Like,
why do you think that was though? Why do you think is more?
Just to be honest, we did train quite hard. Like we get like, and I'm talking like, way too young. Like but like we'd be training at 10. Because
my brother, I have a 10-year-old brother now, and like I could not imagine him out like getting told how to train. You know what I mean? At that
going
age,
for proper. Because we'd had a 600 meter gravel loop in Mullingar Harriers outside the track, and we'd be doing a few, like, I don't know, a lap of that. But, like 6-8 times, like we'd be training proper, like, and we did kind of know what threshold was in a way, like in a natural way. It was like go a little bit easier than all out kind of thing. Yeah. Then it would always, at that age, it's always turning into all out, like, so we'd show up to training, we'd have some laugh for the warm downs and stuff, but we would actually like hammer each other. So it's probably like, that's realistically why. But we also obviously all had quite a lot of like ability, so that really got me into running. I individually, obviously, I was such a competitive kid. Like I just wanted to win all the time, and that Leinster cross country, I won that, and I think I was maybe 5th in the next race in the All Irelands, kind of, because you'd always progress. And then I won a few indoor 600 meters. It used to be the distance race back then. That was as long as you do, and that just like that was me sold, because I played team sports, but I was just so ultra competitive that like even on the team sports, like lads would hate me because I'd be just screaming at them, like I'd be just like, will you just come on. So I kind of just noticed as I went, and like I'd hands up would say I was too young to, like, I just took it so seriously, like that's just my personality. But if I was to go back, I'd be like, I'll just keep playing the team sports for a few more years. But I probably gave them up when I was 14 or so. Because I was just like, no, I need to start training properly for running now. Like, so it's funny, I always had that kind of attitude, and that just snowballed into a lot of injuries at that period. From
so you talk about like second, third year of school, you're starting to pick up like junior cert level, like junior cert level. Like I made my first Irish team in second year of school, so that's like your junior SIAB cross country. I went to Wales, was actually kind of injured at it. And what sort of lads would have been on the team around that time? Do you remember? That'd be tough to
I think I was there with in Wales was
would be same sort of crop we'd see.
Yeah, like Jack O'Leary, obviously from Mullingar, was on the team above, and with Kevin Mulcair and a few guys like that, and Peter Lynch too, who's now was national record holder last year, or is.
Yeah,
it's still sorry. It's all changing so much, and he ran the fastest half marathon ever, but in New York there. Yeah, and I trained with him in Tulsa. Funny enough, years later, but they were on the older group. I'm trying to think on my team. I don't think there was anyone, but then in the next one, like 2 years later, I made another SIAB team in the intermediate, and like I would have had Mihal Power, who I went to Tulsa with, and Darren McElhenney was on the younger team, and it's funny, it's just funny looking back on it, and seeing a good.
They were probably the days, were they?
They were, like we're all obviously I was only getting to know everyone back then and stuff too, but that was fun. But I got a lot of injuries around that. More that TY time was all the stress fractures, and there was a stage where I was going to college, like I went from making those teams to coming 50th at All Ireland cross country, like just from being injured for literally, I don't know, a year and a half straight.
Yeah. How did you take TY? Because I've got a friend that went to American scholarship for soccer, and then I've got a friend that's a professional golf player, and during TY, both of them basically were non-existent. Like they kind of had a thing with the school that like the golfer was like, he's going full on golf for this year.
Nah, to be fair,
were you just normal
school, but it did give me more time to train, and I did get my really good performances there for a few months, but it actually led to all them injuries in the end of it. So so 5th and 6th year then with like studying like hard and stuff with those injuries, like I just went off planet Earth in terms of in the running sphere, and like I thought I did think at a stage even at that young age that I was done. So like in terms of, I just went back for a few races, and I was just so bad compared to.
So when you're when you're injured there going through TY, are you clued on to be like I feel like at the young age, so you just be like, oh no, I just need to keep going. Like there's an Ireland team coming up soon. Or like I'll get over. Like I'll just run through it. Or are you like saying to mom like I'm not like to get something up here with the calf? Or
you see, my things were my metatarsals in my feet, so your toes, your bone, and they just literally couldn't walk. Like there was no choice. They fractured, so I just didn't have a choice, and one followed another one and another one. Like it was crazy. Like it was on one time I just went out. I was back like a few weeks from the other one. I just messed around with football and kicked the ground wrong. And the toe beside the toe that I just broke as well. So like there was obviously just something up with me, but like I do remember just feeling so fragile, and that time being like, wow, maybe I'm just not cut out for this sport. Like I was like my body like can't seem to take this. So that actually did start like as I know it's a young age, but like it took years. I went to DCU through that, and it took me years to get back to where I was, because more you can get back from that stuff, and I knew I had so much problems to sort out. Like my strength and conditioning wise wasn't strong enough, and I knew I needed to change my running form a little bit. I was heel striking a bit too much, whatever, it wasn't working for me, and I was just, all them changes just caused more injuries, because your body just needs to adapt to so many different things and new things. So that took years and years, and only like in college I did a few okay times and a few okay races, and I always showed my potential through cross country every year. Like
that probably said I still have it in me. Like
exactly. I always like, even I was trying to make my first European like proper like the Eurocross for my first year in college, which was my last year junior, and I was having a brilliant race and I lost my spike in that one too. So there's a little full circle moment. So that was that caused me to kind of just enjoy college as well. I was like, wow, like I trained, like I didn't enjoy my first few months in college because I was so locked in on trying to make this team, and then you lose your spike and you're like, well, this is such a cruel sport kind of thing. And that led on then where I just enjoyed college for a year or two while training, a few different injuries and stuff. But as soon as COVID happened, I was obviously always was training hard, but like I was just, COVID forced me. I was like, right, just all I can do is run now. Started getting some really good consistency. Injuries cleared off. You know, that's as a result. I'm saying like I enjoy college, but like I was always in the gym trying to get stronger, trying to sort myself out. I always had it in the back of my head that I had something to give in the sport, and things started clicking then. And as soon as races came back after COVID, I think I ran sub 14 for 5k up in Belfast.
Talk about the 5k.
Smashed a 15-year-old Nick Riggs in that race. Oh, did you? No, he ran like we always talk about this together. He ran 14:16. I was like, and like nobody knew him. This is 2021, I think.
He's 15.
And he was 15, and like it was like I remember like I won the race, delighted with myself, around 13:59 for 5k, and I was like, brilliant. This what a great like start to, I don't know, racing again post COVID. And Joe was just like, yeah, and there was Joe was my coach. He was just like, yeah, and there was a 15-year-old that ran 14:16. And I remember just being like, what?
Was he second?
No,
there's a few in behind you.
There was Paul O'Donnell right behind
Okay.
me, and maybe one or two more, and then Nick. And he just ran the race himself, he said. But yeah, it's just funny now thinking of all that's happened since then. But that led. I had actually, I skipped that. I made my European cross before COVID. An under-23 one. I made that, and that got me to Tulsa in the NCAA'S over in Oklahoma. I got my scholarship to Tulsa through that kind of, and joined a few lads over there, and that's where.
So I was actually I was cooling down today in the park after a long run, and I was telling a few of the lads that were there that I was having yourself on after. Obviously they all knew who you were, and we were just having a laugh. They were saying like, I was like, oh, anyone have anything? Because most of them would listen. Like, I was like, anyone have anything you want to find out? Yeah. And they were like, when did that fella break sub 2011 or something? What? Obviously you just skip by there, and for like average runners, that's like a landmark. It's like the sub 25k. Yeah. So do you remember your first time going under 20?
Yeah, like the Belvedere, that like same place that had the cross countries and stuff, which is where I trained. It has like a forest path, and it also has a cross country course. Yeah, so that's where, when you were saying I ran on grass a lot, that's where I kind of grew up running. But that used to do a 5k series in May, 5k on the kind of gravel and the road around there. What age was I doing that at? Like 13 or 14 probably.
First, second year.
I was I think I was always running 18:30, I think.
Yeah.
So it was always, again, like it was always there, like the kind of ability, like, but no, it was good crack. We used to be running around and be like, you have a few 40-year-old men going, good man.
And when you went over to America, was that after finishing DCU, or did you just transfer like midway through?
No, I was finished. So
you got postgrad?
Yeah, I got my I did biotech in DCU. Okay. And loved my time there. Made lifelong friends in DCU and stuff, and quite enjoyed it. And the running went well towards the end, and got signed with Tulsa. I don't know if you can even say signed.
No.
We went there, and there was actually, Tulsa were a really good team. Scott Beattie was there, Peter Lynch was there, Shea McAvoy from Kilkenny as well. He was on the younger side. We had a few more like Isaac Akers and
Michael Power.
Mihal came over with me. Mihal Power came over with me. And like I knew Mihal, we were
that must
friendly,
have been nice, was it? Yeah, just having like Irish. That's all that matters.
Oh, it was brilliant. Yeah. And like all those guys I mentioned as well are Irish/English. So like, they had just had Patrick Deaver from England, who had won the NCAA 10k title and came like 5th in the cross country. Like, so it was a very easy decision for me. And they had
same guy that was robbed the podium in New York.
Yeah, exactly. The same guy now. And the alumni, they had Chris O'Hare, who was like an iconic 1500 guy from back in like 2012, 2008. Like he would have been, he's Scottish, but for GB. So he lived there still. And they also had Mark Scott a few years before.
It's a very international team.
It was, yeah. They kind of had to like branch out because they couldn't get the massive American guys that would all go to the big, Stanford and.
Today's episode of the podcast is proudly sponsored by Runbud Box. Runbud Box is a monthly subscription where you can get all these goodies sent directly to your door. This is the marathon box they've sent us out. In here, you've got 14 energy gels, 10 electrolytes, 4 recovery bars, and 4 protein bars. There's plenty of different variety and plenty to choose from, so they're a great gift for somebody for Christmas or for their birthday. The link to the guys will be in the description below, so make sure you check them out and let them know that we sent you over there. Thanks very much to the guys over there for supporting us. And
big universities like that, so they had to branch out and kind of go international. And it was unreal.
Have a few bits here actually about the NCAA'S, because basically since we agreed on time, any thought that came into my head, I was like, I need to put that down, because if I'm thinking it now, I'm going to want the answer to at some stage. One of them's just about when you made that decision to go over, looking back, obviously you said you really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
What do you think would have been the biggest difference if you stayed in Ireland during that period, say in your progression, just in you as an athlete? Do you think that was a big turning point?
It was, to be fair. It was like I got to train like a professional athlete over there. And I think that's the biggest thing. On top of the guys I was training with, they were just better. Like they were, in terms of training, they were better than me, and they were more used to that training. So I just got to hop on. Like every session we had five or six guys. Just, you know, it could be the hardest session in your life. I was genuinely doing some training sessions there that I think would have been a race pace, like would have been a full blown race, but I'd have multiple of those reps. Like, and we'd do that, you know, once every 2 weeks or so. And so we trained quite hard with a decent volume. But then we also like had that hard training session, and we had a lot of easy training sessions, like just a progression run. That's how we'd recover, and then do hard sessions. But so I do think it came at that perfect time for me, that I just was fit enough. The coach didn't like make me just immediately do crazy high volume or anything. I was doing say 70 or 80 miles a week, so 120 kilometers, and he just was like, I'll do, instead of 80 miles, do 85 now this season. But that was enough with the intensity increase. I think getting pushed on in all them training sessions like just really worked for me. It's something I probably had never trained that hard. I think I always raced really well off quite low intensity training and just general fitness, whereas this got me a lot more race sharp. I was always, you know, we were training harder than I'd ever trained, and the sessions were quite close to races. So when we went and raced, it was just like, oh, just go do the same thing. And it was, I thought it was great.
You mentioned training like a professional athlete. Can you just talk through like a day in the life, a Tuesday in the life? Like how does your schedule work compared to like the normal college student, for example?
Yeah, I suppose Tuesday will be double threshold day for me the last year or so. But so it just means
that's the same in college in the NCAA'S.
Just for NCAA'S.
Yeah.
So
how does that work like then?
Things were a little bit like, you still do have college and all, see, I was a master's, so a lot of our college was even in the evening time, so it was even better. Like in terms of, I would have we'd always have early training for everyone on the team to get back for their first lecture. And Tulsa is quite hot, especially in August, September. So we were training at like 6 in the morning.
Oh really?
Yeah. We were waking up for some runs at like, I remember me and Mihal just like just scratching the sleep out of our eyes at like 4:45, trying to because you'd have to drive maybe 30 minutes to a dirt road or something like that. But the track was also right beside us.
Would the team live together?
We all lived on campus, like, and the apartments were great. Like, they're so spacious over there. There's so much room in Oklahoma, you know, kind of thing, that you'd die for the apartment that we were in Dublin. But yeah, everyone lived right beside each other, and we just like carpool to train and things like that, or just walk to the track. But yeah, we were training for 6:30. You could be doing, like, it was crazy. I'd be coming back like 8 in the morning, and I'd just be walking back thinking that was the best session of my life. Like, you know, and it's just crazy. It's like 8 in the morning. You've so much done with your day. So that was the morning. Lads would have to get back for lecture, and me and Mihal, like,
and that's important, is it? Do say like you go to your lectures?
No, they did have to, like, they really do have to, like, go when you're especially an undergrad and stuff. Like, they just have a lot more hours, whereas as a postgrad we'd maybe have 1 hour or an hour and a half at 11 or something, if even, maybe like more like lunchtime or after lunch. And then we'd have you did have them 3-hour ones in the evening, because, you know, a lot of masters people are working over there, so a lot of the stuff's in the evening. So you'd have 6 to 9 like kind of lecture, but it would never really go on for the full 3 hours. But that was our life. So me and Mihal would get back at 8 in the morning, and we just sleep for 2 hours, like, and you're just so well recovered. It was just it was a nice life.
It's like you just woke up.
Yeah, it was like start again.
It
was like start again. It was brilliant, and that way you just got so much time to recover, so much time to fuel yourself, and it was great.
I don't know who I was listening to another podcast, like, I think it was a professional athlete talking, and they're like, people try to replicate what the professionals do, or the elites that they see on Instagram, and that's where injuries pop up, because, like, they don't realize that these people have 2 days. That's what he kept saying. It's like, I've got 2 days. I wake up, train, eat, and then sleep till like 12.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I just woke up from the night before, and then I go train.
No, absolutely.
Again, it's like it's completely different than just like waking up, training, full-time job, training.
That's like,
it's like
when I try, if I'm ever given any sort of advice on Instagram, like I was for this injury and how to cross train as a runner, I did a little day where I answered a few questions or something, which I don't do too often, but like when I do it, I always like trying to caveat at the end, like, but like I have a flexible job that like allows me to do this. Like there's no point while you're injured and waking up at 5 a.m. and going to a gym where you've only slept for 4.5 hours. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm getting to sleep till 8 or half 8 and have my full night's sleep and then do this stuff. And, you know, like, I just have that flexibility. So, I agree. Like, that is where everyone has to tailor every part of their life to their own life, not just like, oh, this guy does it, so I need to do it. Like, I do think that's the biggest trap in running, is like people just saying, this one part, like Almgren does this, like, and it's like, well,
the Norwegian man.
Okay, well, why does he do it? And then two, like what, like, how does he recover from that? And how, you know, it's so much more intricate than just like, oh, I should do that too.
Yeah,
you know.
If you know, he's training and he's probably coming home having the perfect meal, physio, sleep, training, like it's all done.
It's all done with intent and purpose, like, and that's the biggest thing. And he knows why he's doing everything too. And that's one thing I think people just forget. They kind of they don't ask the questions or do their own research and stuff. It's just kind of, I'm just going to do that because he does it. And it's like, you could be, like, even big thing at the minute and stuff is like heat training, and people wonder like, or I'll just do that. And it's like, well, if you're doing that, if you're after increasing your mileage, increasing your intensity, and then you also throw in some heat training and sauna and stuff, like that, you're just adding another stress. And it's like, why? Like, would you not be better off just going to bed? Like, just go to recover. But
in terms of racing in the US, is there team selections? Are only a few of you getting to go and race, or how does that work? And is it done by age or year? Like, say if someone's an undergraduate or a master's student, does that matter, or is it just you're on the team?
It's just as in, so like a cross country race would have 7 lads competing for the team, and there might be a situation like during the season where there's like a B team and in the easier race or the earlier race in the day, but no, it's top 7 like race, the championship race as they call it there, and that's just done off ability. Like, if the coach
just picking,
coach just thinks these are my best 7 guys, and normally it picks.
Did you ever do time trials and training and being no,
it picks itself.
Does it?
Like, you know, like you just know, like,
know.
And the team knows too.
Really?
You know, I'm sure there's some team, like we were just a sort of team that maybe just had that top 6 or better. Yeah, and the last spot was maybe up for grabs, and people are competing for that in training. To be fair, like that's maybe that, you know, we do it in groups, and maybe the second group you see they're pushing each other there because they're trying to prove themselves, you know. So there is a little bit of that, but luckily on our team we had this solid top 5 or 6 and 5 score. So it is quite a tough competition in NCAA'S, but it kind of just picks itself. Like, I think lads know like this is the best thing for the team, and that's how it's selected by the coach.
When you turn up to a session, say Tuesday morning, threshold, and the coach is there, is he the one telling you this is what pace you're doing your reps at, and that's that? Like,
we actually so we'd walk over at the track. We'd done most of our sessions at the track, well, a lot of the big ones, and the funny thing is he would give prior warning, like, this is going to be a hard session the few days before, so you'd start be getting almost built up for it, like, because we had quite long between our hard sessions, you know. It might be 10 days or 2 weeks, so you're almost working into it, and you're not tapering, but like, so you're full volume, but like you're kind of getting ready, this is going to be a hard session, but he'll never tell you what it is until, so we'd walk over we'd go into the changing rooms, and there'd just be he'd just have a sheet stuck up on the door, and it would be like, and he'd also like have a dash in everyone's name at certain paces. You know,
so you'd know from that the team, would you really? Yeah,
you would, like, as in, so it'd be like group 1, and then he'd dash and he'd put a few people's names down on that. But like in my first year, you know, he was trying to manage me, and like so like there was a good few times we'd show up training, and he'd be like, and I'd see my name in the second group, and I'd be like, oh no, like, damn it, like, but at the same time I think he was right to do that, because I ended up, like, I was on the main team, like, for the cross country, and was one of our main scorers at every race. But I think in terms of training, I just needed to go a little bit easier, and so he was quite smart in doing that. But yeah, so that's how we know. And you'd go up and you'd see the sheet and you'd be like, oh my god.
Is that a case of him being like it's there for him already? Let's just manage him. Let's just keep him fit and injury free.
Probably he probably just was trying to manage the intensity on me and stuff. But like, yeah, there was some sessions you show up and see that sheet and you just start like, oh, it'd be like all of a sudden like, oh, you have to race today. Like, it would be scary, like, but great in a way.
In terms of the races, were you doing much track stuff over there, or was it just cross country? What were you like?
Yeah, so it'd be cross country as they call it in the fall. But that's September, like racing from September through to November. And then you're on to indoors January to March, and then you're on outdoors from April to the end of May or June. Yeah.
And are they like just time trials, as in everyone just gone flat, or are they more championship style where it is a bit tactics in there?
Like, I mean, the cross country was always just, it's renowned for being flat out. You know, like we'd run the first four. You know, have you ever seen NCAA start to the cross country? Like, we'd be running 58 seconds
because just
at the start, the first 400 meters at the start of a 10k. Like,
it looks crazy.
It's funny, like that's what people always say. Like, if you'd done that at the start of a track 10k, you would be like, that person's the biggest idiot in the world. But like, in cross country, like to get position and all that, it would just be all out. And then from there on, like cross country in general is survival, but like it was majorly just survival over there. But we'd run it as like a team at times, so we'd be like, the coach would tell us, I want you to be a little bit further back and come through towards the end. That's what we were actually quite good at as a program. I would always finish way stronger, like because the year before I came out they were 5th, and then my first year we were 6th. Like, that's 6th in the nation, like, which was a big like achievement. But like, we got top 4 get a trophy or whatever, so that was the goal, and it was cool to be part of that. But my one of my biggest prides during that cross country was, I think my coach told me, like, after 5k of my last cross country, be 40th. And I think when I looked at the results back, I was 42nd.
Oh, really?
Just off pure, trying like to be in the right position. And then I came through to 15th. So that's kind of how we ran it. So that way there'd be tactics, but like cross country is just so brutal that it is tough the whole way.
Yeah.
But that was in Oklahoma, that course with the crazy hills up and down. Like it's iconic now at this stage. So that was cross country. And then track changes a lot. Like, it is more tactical, I suppose, but for you to qualify for regionals and all, you have to run a time. So there'll be a certain stage in the track season where you're going to a race, like in California. They're nearly always in California because you're just guaranteed the good weather, where you're trying to run a fast time, and then you're qualified for the championship season. So then you're at regionals. That's just tactical. That's the craziest track 10k there is in the world, because there's 44 guys on the start line. So it's like you're running a cross country race on the track. It's mad. Like, I don't think I ran the one I qualified for in my last year. I don't think I had, maybe the last few laps I was in lane 1. The rest of it I was just out in lane 3, like just trying to like avoid guys. Like, it was weird. It's a weird race, but so in that way it's tactical. And then I got to, I think the NCAA'S were in Austin that year, and that's just who's best. I was 10th on that day. I think Kai Robinson won the double that year. But so it changes a lot. Different races, like we have obviously our conference, so that's like, they're just tactical. They're like you're getting as much points as you can for your college. And we're the distance running program in our conference. It wasn't the strongest conference, but so we would actually kind of race it whatever way we wanted. We'd have 5 or 6 lads at the front. And we just bully all the other teams as much as we could. So in my last year, our coach made us actually race it like a time trial. So Shay paced us, and I actually got the conference record that day. I won in 13:40.
Unbelievable.
But it was like 30 degrees. Like, it was roasting. And there's a lot of that over there too. The weather affects you. But so it changes a lot. But again, I just loved every bit of it. I went over there for the cross country in particular. Like, it was one of my dreams. Obviously, with my mom having been in America, was one of my dreams to just like go over there and I'd get those experiences. Like, I love watching the NCAA cross country races, you know, like through the years of like Justin Knight winning back in the day, and a few like Pat Tiernan, and there's just some iconic YouTube videos of the NCAA 10K cross, and I just idolized that, so I loved to go over and race that, and I enjoyed all the other stuff too. Yeah, indoors was a tough part because you're trying to bridge that gap between cross country and track, but yeah, no, I loved it.
What would you say back then? What would you say your frame of mind was? Like, are you over there being like? So obviously everyone's built different mentally, I suppose, and that's like that can be the difference between athletes at that level, I suppose. But is your mindset at that time like, this is like, I'm gonna be a pro runner, like this is just a stepping stone, like, and this is gonna make me better? Or are you thinking, as you said about your mom there, like, this is just really cool and I'm gonna enjoy this and see what happens when I get home?
Yeah, it was more probably the latter there, the second one, in terms of, I just thought like I was in such a good frame of mind over there in terms of like, I was just thinking everything was just a great opportunity, you know, like isn't this so cool, like that living, you know, we're traveling to California and things like that, and just literally training with your friends every day too, because everyone in Tulsa I became very good friends with pretty quickly, and yeah, I just took everything as like, what a cool opportunity, and I don't like thinking too far ahead in running. Obviously when you're a kid you always say, well, I think a lot of people always say like, oh, I want to make the Olympics, but for me, especially with those injuries I described earlier in my career, I was very much just like, oh, I'm getting back to this point, and I'm now, let me try get a little bit better and try so I think that's how my brain processes a lot of things. It's just like, just get to that next, just improve this a little bit more and improve that a little bit more, and I'm trying not to be like, oh, I need to be here in 4 years time. Like, I just try to just let that come.
Yeah, I know majority of the people listening are going to be dying for us to talk about some of the great memories of the cross country over the last few years with Ireland, both team and individually, I suppose. But I realised I actually never ran through some of your PBs, just for people listening, and you can pull me up if any of these are wrong. But Cormac has a PB on the 10K road, which he did in Valencia in 2025 of 28:03. It's 5K on the track. It's 13:26. You might know better what that is in kilometer pace for the PB. I think people always relate to
it's 240.
240.
Yeah, just 240 is 13:20 on the dot. So it's a little bit slower than 240, but I'll call it 240.
He's ran 2 sub 4 minute miles. He was third at the National Cross in 2024 and 2025, and he was the National Cross champion in 2023, where he then went on to come 8th in Europe. And then most recently, I suppose, the Irish team got silver in the Euros, where Cormac came 11th individually. I think before that race, he had the highest placing for an individual Irish athlete at the cross, but then Jack came 5th.
Yeah, no, it wasn't the high. It was the highest in like 13 years. It was just a big drought, but I think there was one. Jack equaled. I think somebody came 4th or 5th. I know his name. I've just forgotten it now. But back in the 2000s.
Yeah. So I suppose, well, the furthest back one I have there is actually you becoming national cross champion in 2023. So we can start with that, I suppose.
It leads on really nice because I was literally right after Tulsa. So I'd come home that summer. So it was, and I rejoined my old coach Joe Ryan. And I went on 2 altitude camps as soon as I came home. One in the summer, and I went well that summer on the track, and then I went again in September. To both of them were in St. Moritz, and then just things kind of, the fitness I'd built up in the NCAA'S and the new little bit of training. I was training more consistently, you know, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, rather than, and Tulsa was kind of just Tuesday, Saturday, you know, really hard or really easy, kind of in between. So I was somewhere in between then for them few months, and it just seemed to really click nicely. And I ran one cross-country race in Spain in the build-up. I was 11th, and I knew it was around some good guys, just hard to tell. And then, I got to National Cross in Kilkenny. I was actually probably one of the most nervous I've been for a race, and I think looking back on it, it was probably just because I knew.
You knew you were in good shape.
It was a really good opportunity, and I also knew there was that little feeling of a chip on the shoulder in terms of, I'm coming home here, I've started a part-time job, like, you know, there's no, you know, nobody's offering me, you know, there's no opportunities really, and I was like, it's now or never, even though it wasn't now or never, but like, that's just how it felt on the day. And it turned out to be the muckiest cross country race I think there's maybe ever been in Irish athletics. Like,
the pictures are unbelievable.
Yeah, we're talking like bog, like ankle deep.
Yeah,
it just was tough to actually, like, I think we ran.
Like, if anyone watching, because I feel like running has boomed in Ireland in the last 2 years. So if anyone watched 2025, that was muddy, but this was another level.
2025, exactly. Yeah,
altogether.
Yeah, 2025 was like a wet.
Yeah,
whereas this one was like a sticky, like porridge muck, as some people describe it. Like, and just to pull your ankles out with stuff. And we were running like 3:30 per kilometer, which is, you know, like
way so than what you
like our threshold are 3 minute kilometers.
Yeah.
At worst, some guys, like, do you know what I mean? So it's like, it was just crazy to think that we could run that pace. I know it's cross country, but it was that bad. And I think we sat in, and I remember, like, and I won't mind, the best thing about that day for me was that everyone was there. Like you might have missed one or two guys that were maybe back focused on the roads and stuff. Yeah. But like, everyone was there.
Yeah, there's no asterisk beside it. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And like, obviously the asterisk is the muck, and I do really well in the muck. And I was like, all right, let's have it. And I remember just the race going on, and just kept looking back, and more people were dropping off. And it was actually Kevin Mulcair who came back from the dead. Like, Kevin was the best junior athlete over, 5K thing, everything. Yeah. Before Dara came along, he was the best since John Tracy. So he was running 14:02 as a junior, and just through injuries and stuff, he missed most of college, I think. So he came back, and nobody was expecting it, and he was leading out the race, and I just kind of got pulled along. And there was a few of us there with a lap to go, and I just stayed in it till last final straight, and with Kevin, and took the win. Yeah, it was how'd
that feel? Unbelievable.
Best feeling. Yeah, I think the best feeling in running. Like, obviously, a few weeks later, I went on and came 8th at Eurocross, which was
Is that comparable?
It was a better feeling. Like, in a big way, it was a better feeling. They're almost two different feelings. The Eurocross was like, this is where I belong, and like that, it was that confirmation of like, I can race with the best. Like, I think I was running that last race with Isaac Kameli, like world, was he 3rd in 5K last year, and Crippa as well, and I bet both of them. Like, obviously it was mucky too, really, really mucky. But I just remember thinking, like, that was a bigger achievement. Like, I've no doubt that the Europeans was a bigger achievement, but the feeling of winning a national title is just like unmatched in a way, and especially across, it means a lot.
Because you battle for it in that more, like,
yeah, exactly, Like, and it's like kind of one of them things nobody can take that away from you. It's just like, that's that done, and that's why we race. Is to win. It's way more rare than it should be in the sport to actually win a race. But it's just so competitive, especially the way Irish athletics is now.
You aren't racing that much, are you? Like, how much time would you say the average athlete of same level as yourself is racing in a year? Like,
it's a good question. It's probably it's
less than amount of months.
Between 10 and 20. I'd say, like, depending on the athlete. But it probably is between 10 and 20. Yeah, exactly, somewhere.
Like, so level, like,
it is such high level. All them races you're racing at. So it was a cool feeling, and then
you went on. You had 2/3 back to back.
I wasn't in as good a shape the year later after an injury, and earlier in that year, it just took me a while to get back, and that was. I went on to Turkey. Actually, I was 21st, I think, that year in Turkey, and we didn't have our team didn't have a strong performance, but I was actually first Irish that year too. So it's a team I've been a part of now for 5 years, I think, that senior cross team, and it's something I'm proud of. I'm just like,
that's unbelievable achievement.
I've done it now every year for 5 years in a row, and then leads on to the infamous Lagoa, however you say it, a year later.
And I remember
we were all in our best shape. It was just like the stars aligned there this year or last year in 2025.
Like, Instagram, like, the amount of people that watch that, like, I feel like it's just gone, like, have you noticed a difference in how much people even recognise you, like, say, when you're out running, like, fellow runners?
Tiny bit, like, a little bit. Definitely, even actually a week after Eurocross, I went for drinks with my brother in town in Dublin, but we were just trying to get a beer or something, and I walked down the stairs in Joe Mary's pub. We think we were getting a down the Wow Burger. I was walking down the stairs, and the guy just looked up as he walked up, and he was like, "Oh, well done last week." And I was just like, what? I was like, that's crazy. Like, didn't know him at all. And I was like that doesn't happen too often for us. So it was cool. And it was it was an iconic day. Yeah.
Yeah. So Jack was 5th, obviously. Yeah. Led the team out. Brian came in at 10th. You were closely followed 11th.
Yeah.
Dara 16th and Ephraim 19th. Like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, if you look the year before in Turkey, like I said, there wasn't one of us in the top 20. I was 21st. Yeah. And then next thing we put 5 in the top 20. And again, like I say, it was just like stars aligning. Like, all the lads we all had good summers. I wasn't the happiest of myself. I ran 13:26 for a PB or whatever, but all the lads had pushed on a lot. Like Dara, obviously Nick on under 23s, but Faye is always good, like, and is always up there, and Ephraim pushed on, and exactly the half and the 10k, and Jack had pushed on massively that year, so like it all just kind of aligned really well. And I remember Mark Neely, he's the head of endurance, he just kind of in September time he kind of went to me like, geez, if we don't sneak a medal this year, we might never. And I kind of I'm a realist kind of. I'm like I've been there the last 4 years, I know how tough it is, and I was like, what do you think? I was like, I know we won't. I'm kind of like, Jesus, we do well to get a third even. Okay. And then I think 2 weeks before, like even Jack and that, we'd all qualified through after Derry, which was a great race, like it in itself, and showed there was a big group of us close enough. And but when we qualified, the lads were like, they said something when we were running in Sport Ireland, and they're just like, oh, like, we should be just going to try win it. And I was there again. I'm very just like, I was like, oh, lads, like, come on,
relax there.
Relax. Like, I was like, that's a bit far. Yeah. Like, but I was dreaming. Like, I was like, but I was dreaming if maybe we could sneak a medal. Like, but the way it worked out, there was no way we weren't getting a medal that day. Do you know that?
But watching it, like, it was just ran to perfection from every single person. Like, you could they have basically the graphics down the bottom. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the broadcast.
Don't worry.
But they kind of just follow the like leaders, obviously. Yeah. So you can't really see how like Ephraim's getting on, if he's mid-pack, whatever. But you just see down the bottom, and they kind of like list the names like in order. And every time they brought it back around, Dara would be up 2 places, Ephraim be up 2. And it was just like everyone else was going backwards, but all yous were just moving further up the list. And then it was just like, all of a sudden it was like, this is on. Like,
I think we were 7th or so after a lap or something like that, or if not worse, but like far back. Like, I was in my position, like I kind of, from the experience the last 4 years, just felt like I need to be thereabouts, and I think I'll be able to like finish well as well and get a few more positions. So I was like 16th or something, or 17th.
Is that really important, getting up here? Like,
it can be. It turned out that this was like 1 year that it was less important. Okay. Because the course was grueling. Like, we were just, I don't know how much elevation it was every lap. It was a lot though. It was like, was it 50?
That's the thing you don't see on TV. It just looks
50
flat
meters or something. Yeah, it looked flat, but it was like kind of like a field, like just on its side.
There was one massive hill you went down, and then you were running like.
So basically, the whole course was going up the hill and then back down it, and up it and back down. That's what we were looping up and down. Then you get to the bottom, and then you climb the whole way back up. And obviously there was a few jumps and stuff like that. And it was like sand, gravel, but it was just grueling.
The videos of like obviously these were so closely together, the 5 is, but like every time someone else crossed the finish line, the videos are just class to watch back. You can tell how genuinely happy every single one of you were. Yeah, it was knowing that you had done it. Like, did you know at that stage, or is?
Yeah, I had heard about a lap to go that the Irish had gone into second, because a French guy hurt his Achilles and pulled out, and that just that catapulted us straight into second. And I heard that, and it was all I needed to, like, I was like, okay, let's go on. I actually like was in a position, like, I was running with a guy that came 7th in the end, or 8th, and like I had a pretty bad kind of side stitch, but I was running with him, and I came to last like 500, and I just was where he went and got 2 guys, and him and another guy went and got 2 guys, and I just stayed where I was. So I stayed in 10th. I was in 10th, and then Faye is always going to close hard, and he closed over the last 100 meters. Like, I went as hard as I possibly could, but he got me by like a head. But like, I was photo finish there, but it was a good battle. And so I was just like, this is all I need to push me through the race. But it just turned in last 400, where I'd normally maybe finish strong. I just felt like the race had got its hold on me, and I was just like just trying to finish as well as I could. But I knew we were in the medal position, because I knew like Jack was pushing through, and but yeah, the coolest part, it was a tough course because you couldn't really look ahead because it was so technical. We were literally, we were turning every 100 meters. You were taking a 180-degree turn. Like, it was a bit wild, but and we were still, I think we still around 255 per kilometer on that course. And but like Jack was obviously like 2 seconds off medal, and me and Faye were 8. So 8 seconds off a medal. Like, so it's a really cool to look at that and be like, wow, we're all right there. Like, you know, and in the future, why not? Why can't people be going for individual medals as well as medaling every year?
I don't think people realize though, like, how hard, like, I think people, like, they're like, obviously they can do it, they're like at that level. Yeah. But like the photos of you with a lap to go.
Oh yeah.
Like, your facial expressions, like, you are fighting, like, with a lap to go, and you still just power through for the
it's probably one of the most painful races there is, especially like the European cross country, like, because you're running for your country and stuff, and there's that pressure, but like, there's no real pain like cross country because it's just like, just imagine like trying to run I don't know, people that are only getting into running, trying to run a 5k or 10k or even a marathon where there's like a really hard hill every bloody kilometer. Say for 42 kilometers, every kilometer you have to climb this. So that's what cross country is doing. It's just like your lactic acid is just going through the roof, and you're trying to bring it back down, and you're just constantly doing that for the whole, it was, what is it these days, like 7.5k. So, and the lads are just running, like, you're running with the world champion, like the world 10k champion, in Jimmy Gressier, like, and you're just thinking like, I'm getting a little bit settled into this race, and then just the whole, you just feel oh no, we have to keep sprinting, like, so it is like that. And one of the things, I suppose, like, I was even thinking before this podcast, like, talking, but like, I think what people don't know about something like Eurocross is like the like behind the scenes, in terms of like you obviously see the course the day before with the team, and then like there's the night before, there's like a team meeting and talk about how much it matters, and so like there's just this massive build up, you know, and like your
team environment,
and you're racing at like, I don't know, 12 in the morning, and you're waking up at 6 because of that, and you're just so nervous the day before. You're waking up and you're going for your shakeout jog. In like, I think we're in Portugal, like, really nice place. I like ran to the sea and just ran back in the morning before the race. But like, then you're just getting there and you're just at breakfast with like your teammates, like, and you're obviously all going to race each other, trying to do the best, but at the same time there is that team environment and team aspect. And it's like all the races are actually starting at like 9 a.m. like the juniors and all, and you're getting your bus at like 10 a.m. and like, you're just the feeling of it, like, I'm just getting nervous here talking about it, but it's like that feeling we're all just on the bus and there's just that kind of like silence, like there's like this silence where you're all looking around and just like everyone's just like like, just, and you're 2 hours out from your race, but you're just so nervous.
I actually wanted to ask,
there is that pressure.
I've seen videos on social media recently of Keith Hodgkinson running the 800 indoors, and obviously Georgia Hunter-Bell ran the 1500 directly before. And Keely finishes and she's like running around the track after winning with her flag, etc. And she sees Georgia in the crowd watching her, obviously. And she runs up to her and she's like, where'd you come? And obviously they're best friends. So she obviously didn't watch the race beforehand. So would you have seen Nick?
So like, there's obviously the team, because it's such a big team at Eurocross, like 36 athletes, and like there's another like 5 coaches or whatever more. So, and the physios too. So they were, the coach, like, we had Emmett Dunleavy brought us to the came on the bus, brought us to the course and all that. He was our team lead, but so he'd be watching the race, and like you're like, obviously I'm trying to like focus, but at the same time it's good to take your,
at the same time,
good to take your brain off your own race sometimes, and you just go, oh, how are they getting on there, Emmett, and stuff. So, but I do understand some people need to just completely focus on their own race, but it is, you do, I like hearing, Nick's after winning there. Like, it's a good little momentum. It's motivation. Exactly. Motivation's like, right, he's performed, and then you're like, right, there is pressure on us to perform now. Like, one of my first ever senior cross was in Dublin. That was the one I kind of skipped over, but when I was in Tulsa, I got selected for my first senior cross, and it was in Dublin, which was probably if I'm trying to stack different things, there's obviously the Eurocross medal and winning national title, but like, it's right there. Just running in Dublin Eurocross was right there with them, because it was just, I don't know how, was there 10,000 Irish people? Like,
Yeah.
it was crazy. It was in Abbottstown.
Yeah.
It was one of the coolest race experiences of my life. And but before that race, the under 23 men, Dara and them, won gold.
Okay.
And we're there in the tent. You can't see anything. All you hear is Ron Naveen playing out, and like everyone roaring, and we're just in the tent, like just shaking there, like getting ready. And that's the stuff with the Eurocross and those team events that's so cool. Like, it's like there's that team environment, and there's also just that pressure of having to perform for not just yourself but for your country and stuff. And something I love, and why I've been part of it, or trying to be part of it every year.
Well, you've done pretty
as long as I can. But so that's why I love cross country, man. No, but
you're not just a cross country
runner, but like, even though I make that joke myself that I am just a cross country runner, but getting there on the roads and the track as well.
I had this list, obviously, I showed you before. About 30 topics. I think we got through one, and we're coming close.
We've touched off a few different ones.
We're coming close to the end. I know there'll be people, you didn't ask them about this, you didn't ask about that. But I do have a few questions as we're coming to the end for people from Instagram. And honestly, I've seen some of them, and feel free to not answer if you don't want. Just say pass, and we'll move on to the next one. Obviously, I feel bad for distance runners, because this is all people seem to care about these days. But when are you going to the marathon?
When are you going to the marathon? Yeah,
that's all everyone seems to ask.
No, it's fair.
Or is that something you're genuinely just not even interested?
No, there was a stage years ago where that was my answer. Like, I'm actually not interested in it. Because I just love all the competing through track, the constant competition of like cross country and track, and being able to do a few races and stuff like that. But no, as I've matured and gotten older, I kind of see it as the end goal is the marathon. So I think it's coming sooner rather than later. And I'm in a position now where it's 2026 and the next Olympics is 2028. Like, it's not that far away. So I'll be making my decision this year as to what my future is, and the likelihood of that being a marathon is probably quite high.
So you might see Valencia at some stage.
I think I was meant to be running Berlin half marathon. I was entered for that on the 29th of March. I was really looking forward to that, and ended up being a good race too. But that was going to be my first introduction, and there needs to be probably a few half marathons and stuff. But I think the marathon's coming sooner rather than later. Yeah.
Okay, so the people can be excited for that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
For some reason,
I can document as much of it as I can as well.
For some reason, everyone cares about money. I don't know why. I think I think some people have the mindset that these athletes are loaded, and I think some people also realize the realization that they're actually not at all, and they're lucky to get by, a lot of them. So someone asked, how do you earn a living? Like, is that your sponsors, or do you work? So you obviously talk to say you have a job.
I work part-time as a process engineer we do like pharmaceutical projects, I suppose. So
two scientists there.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the only way I earn money. I just survive. I have obviously a lot of support through Athletics Ireland and Sport Ireland. Feel like services.
You're willing to take some sponsors on board, obviously.
Oh yeah,
so if anyone's looking to sponsor.
I'm sponsored. One sponsor is my coffee sponsor.
Bell Lane, is it?
Bell Lane Coffee
Roasters.
We'll give them a shout. Gary, exactly. Yeah. Actually, maybe a little sip of their coffee right now.
anyone that's supporting you, they definitely
deserve a shout out. But no, obviously, I have all sorts of dreams in running, and one of them is to be a professional runner with with a brand. And it's something that might come a little bit easier via the roads, because there's a lot more money on the roads. There's basically no money on the track, or especially definitely no money on cross country.
About this, actually, don't know if you got to watch his most recent video, but he kind of gets really deep into
I did watch it actually.
So basically just saying you could go to the track, run a great time, you get nothing for it.
Nothing.
Then you go to the road, you could run 2 minutes slower, but you could walk away 500 quid.
Exactly.
That's like my shopping rent. Like, people don't realise that. It's a job at the same time.
Yeah, definitely. But even in terms of the brands, their market, their entire market, their 99% of their market is road running. So therefore, there's more market for them to pay professional road runners, so that is why I also say there's more money on the roads, because you could actually get brand sponsorship easier by running some fast times on the road, and whereas on the track you basically, there's the world ranking points, and if you're not in the top, let's say 30, they're just like, nope. Next, there's still just get somebody that's in the top 30. So, so it's a brutal sport like that. You're judged off your numbers, but it's definitely something I aspire to get, and something I'll be chasing over next few years. Because so to answer the money question, like I just literally just have to get by,
just like a normal person,
just
works,
a normal person, just
money,
getting by. I surrender a lot of potential salary and potential career improvements and being a normal person to chase the dream.
Well, it's very rare someone gets to chase their dream.
Exactly. But my opinion on it is I will be able to do that work for the rest of my life, but I won't be this age and this ability to run as fast as I can for the rest of my life. So I need to chase it now. That's kind of the thought process.
Only 2 more questions from Instagram.
Absolutely,
last week we got 0. This time we got 4, so we're on the up.
Great,
we're growing.
Great.
Someone asked, money again. What's the most you've ever won from prize money, like a race?
Like I don't even do. I haven't even done.
Because you haven't done road races, so probably
nothing.
So that's crazy.
That's exciting. Yeah.
My girlfriend out there, like 5k PV, like 1920.
Yeah.
I think she's like a couple of €100 earned just from podium and 5Ks, which is crazy.
I'm sure I can think of. There's been a track race or two where I've earned a few hundred, or the Griffith Avenue Mile I won 300.
I ran that actually, and I seen you just gone up the road.
So I got that, and then because we broke the record, we got a Louis Copeland voucher.
Class.
So 300.
Right, 300.
And
I think he was expecting like something
he's
fancy
expecting
there,
a few grand or something, but maybe in the future when I actually do more road races. But genuinely, again, my biggest win has just been achievements like Eurocross medal, and that's all. It's something I'll hold for the rest of my life, but finance has been there's people that have started running a year or two ago online, that are earning more from running than I ever have in my 18 years of running. And that it can annoy some runners and stuff, but I just think we're doing it for different reasons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Last one then, someone asked, what do you eat before a race?
What I eat before a race is usually something actually kind of sweet, like a pancake or French toast kind of thing. That's a few hours out now.
Yeah.
That's 3 to 4 hours out will be a feed of pancakes, or a lot of the time we have to be quite flexible though with a hotel the morning of a race that we're abroad for or whatever. You're just having whatever they have. Just high carbohydrate. The thing I like about pancakes or French toast or something is that there is that tiny bit of, you could have eggs with it and stuff. You can add a bit of protein in if you need, or there's eggs in them as well. But just I load them with Nutella, and just because I'm just quite nervous at that time of a race too. So I just need something that'll just be. Obviously, I know it's okay in my stomach because I've done it so many times, but I just need something where I'm like, okay, I can get this down, And then other than that, leading into the race is just coffee, caffeine, and then a gel, maybe a 20-gram carb gel before the warm up, maybe a tiny bit more of a carb drink before the race. Simple as that, yeah.
Keep it simple.
Try to keep it simple, yeah.
The last few are like rapid fire. It's kind of like either or. So course or Garmin?
Course.
Kilometers or miles?
Still miles. I'm getting there.
Weekly miles? What would you? Now, obviously, you're injured, but
160k, 100 miles. Yeah.
Favorite race?
National Cross.
And then obviously you haven't done much road, but have you found the carbon that you're starting to?
The Ortrees, the Puma Ortrees, have grabbed me there now. The last 2 races, I tried them. I hadn't even done a stride in them before Armagh. And just threw them on and got them in Run Hub that day, and you
shouldn't have to be buying shoes in Run Hub. So Run Hub, get on to them.
Maybe one day.
If Run Hub have reached out to me about something, they should definitely be reaching out to you. So I'd rather go to you, to be honest.
Fair. The Ortrees, I wore them then at Castellone 10K, and I was popping off the road. I hadn't felt that good. I expected to love the Adios 4s. Because I loved Adios 3s, because they were my first super shoe really, and because Tulsa would give us them, And I actually got to race over there in them once or twice because they don't have the rules. So
Yeah.
for your conference, you could run a track,
Okay.
5K in
Yeah.
them. But the Adios 4s are actually a bit softer than I expected, and I'm not sure. Yeah, I ran Valencia in them. Obviously, I've told you why that day didn't feel great. So that could just be pure based on the day, but I just felt like I was kind of sinking into the road more, whereas the Pumas, I was popping off the ground. Yeah.
Cormac, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for giving me your time. Thank you to everyone who has listened. Please don't forget to follow, subscribe, all that good stuff helps us out very much.
Yeah.
And hopefully you join us for the next one. Thank you.
Cheers, Morgan. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks very much, man.
Appreciate it.